Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Mabadivacha Vissundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Nityananda Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kaloho Kalmashanashaya Jannavapataye Namaha Ajanulambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanaya Kapitaro Kamalaya Takshu Vishwambaro Dujavaro Jugadharma Pala Vande Jagatpriya Karo Karunavataram Kanakajaladakatro Nilashonam Janitro Mrigavadavarabalo Malati Kundamalo Taralataru Navesho Nilapitambaresho Smaranivruta Nikunje Radhika Krishna Chandra Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vidyaya Radhe Tvam Naimam Charanantike Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, unlimited Dandavat Pranams to the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev Nitya Prishna Vishnupada Astutra Sata Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shiksha Gurudeva Swam Vishnupada Astutra Sata Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj Shrimati Krishna Priya Thakurani, also to Nitya Prishna Vishnupada Shrimad Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, Nitya Prishna Vishnupada Shrimad Bhakti Kamal Govinda Goswami Maharaj, and to the devotees of Hastings. So today, and all those who are watching us online or in recording, so today there was meant to be a public meeting, but by the will of Thakurji, we are having a class for devotees unexpectedly in this large Unitarian church. So today we're discussing, yes, oh Lord, please hear us. Today, very nice premises and also nice group. Even you're situated as a Holy Cross, 4 of you, 5 of us. So today we will discuss the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the core of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. And tomorrow, hopefully some guests will come. Anyway, we'll discuss the Leela of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Chidadahi Mahotsava, the Leela of the chipped rice in Panihati, as Sri Raghunath Das Goswami received the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Those pastimes we'll be hearing tomorrow. So, in Jayavadharma and other books, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has summarized the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Dasa-mula-tattva, the truth about the 10 roots. So we're discussing that a little bit in Llandudno, in Wales. And today we'll continue. Today, no adaptation, just for devotees. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, apart from Jayavadharma, described the teachings of Mahaprabhu in Dashamula, in Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita, also in several more books. He wrote actually a separate booklet called Dasa-mula-tattva. So today we're looking into it. So, Amnaya praha tattvam harimaha paramam sarvashaktim rasadhim tadbhinnam shamsya jivam prakrita kavalitam tanvimuktam shabhava Veda Veda Prakasham Sakalam Api Hare Sadhanam Shuddha Bhaktim Sadyam Tat Pritim Evatipati Shadi Janan Gaura Chandra Swayamsa. This is Mula Shloka. Mula means root. So in this root verse, the whole 10 roots of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Siddhanta are presented. So The first root is pramana. Pramana means proof. When you want to state something, to make it authoritative, you have to quote some proof. According to, and you say. So often people say in this world, oh, I've seen it with my own eyes. So this is what? Pratyaksha. Means direct perception. So I've seen fire with my own eyes. Something was burning. So that is called pratyaksha pramana. There's the logical inference. I've seen smoke over the hill. I saw the smoke. Oh, it means fire. It means something is burning. So actually there are 10 pramanas mentioned. We will not be looking into that today because I wasn't really prepared for this subject. I was prepared for a different subject, but like tradition, yes, statement of the, of the authorities, sages, etc. So like that. Or absence, by absence we can see it's not existing, it's not there. And many others, but they are not as strong as the main praman. Main praman is Shabda praman. So these three, Shabda praman, and Pratyaksha and Anumana, are considered to be most significant. So Pratyaksha means direct perception, and logical inference, Anumana, etc., are considered to be imperfect because in this material world we have 4 imperfections of the senses. Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa, Karanapatava. Brahma means we make mistakes. Brahma means we are illusioned. Pramad, we make mistakes. Vipralipsa means we tend to cheat others and to be cheated also. And Karanapatava, our senses are imperfect. That's why if we see fire, it may be some other source of light, not necessarily fire, maybe some torchlight or any other electric light which doesn't really bring fire itself, although it's made from a fire element. Or if we see mirage in the desert, that's the most popular example probably, then we can be illusioned, we can think that that is actually water, but no, that is the vibration of hot air creating the impression of water, and it glitters as water, but actually it's not at all water. And our logic, we could see imperfect, we can think that that's fire, but actually smoke can go without fire often because something was burning, but now it's longer burning, but still smoke is there. And there are some sparks, but not real fire. So that's not at all authoritative. So Shabda Praman is most authoritative. So this is the first root, Praman. And then there are 9 Prameyas. Do you remember? What is Prameya, Durika? Something to be proved, something which is being proved, right? Because when we were in Lunda, she was still doing something, running here, there. So we have to listen to this Siddhanta. Prameya means something which is being proved. Okay, I don't know when you're following. So according to the Shastra, Amnaya Praha, it says, Tattvam Harimaha Paramam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the second root and the first Prameya. Paramatatva, or the Supreme Truth, is Krishna. He is the repository of all energies, the source of all energies, Sarva Shaktim. And he is the embodiment of all rasa, prasabdim, already 3 prameyas. Then jivas, the second 3 prameyas concern jivas. Tad bimnam shamsha jivat prakrita kavalitantam vimuktam shabhavat. So jivas are, you remember, vidbhinnamsha. Remember the difference between Swamsha and Vibhinamsha, Madhurika? Swamsha? When we see Nrisimhadev, Vamanadev, Varahadev, they're called Swamsha. They all came from Krishna, the initial Lord. Yatecham Shakalapam Sa Krishnastu Bhagavan Svayam. So they are his parts. But Vidhinamsha are the separated parts. Those are the jivas. So jivas therefore called Vidhinamsha, separated parts. So Bhinnamsha, jiva, some of them Prakrita Kavalitam, covered with Prakriti material energy, and some of them are free from coverings. They are free, eternally liberated, Nitya Mukta. So these are the six, and the seventh is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, simultaneous unity and difference between three elements, Ishvara, Jiva, and Maya. Okay, you follow? So 3 plus 3, 3 about the Supreme Personality, 3 about the Jivas, and number 7 is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, connection between them. So these 7 constitute what, Lavanya? The principle of Sambandha, relationship. Sambandha. So the relationship between these three, Ishvara, Jiva, and Maya, they constitute Sambandha. They constitute the principles of mutual relationship, which exists forever. So then these are the 7 roots, and numbers 8 and 9, 9 roots belonging to Prameya, means elements being proved. That is sadhana and sadhya, or abhideya and prayojana. So sambandha consists of 7 roots. Sambandha, 7 roots. 3 about the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, 3 about the jivas, and number 7 is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. This is sambandha, right? And abhideya means sadhanam shuddha bhakti. It says sadhanam means sadhana or prescribed devotional practices is our process, really. So this is sadhana to be meant for the achievement of sadhya or supreme goal. And pritim, tat pritim evati patichanam, sadhyam tat pritim. Priti means pure love, prema. So pure love is the goal of all our activities. So we're about to talk today about love with the people, and the slogan is on top of this Unitarian Church also is saying amongst faith, hope, and love, love is most significant. So this is what we're seeking. Now we're covered by lust in this material world to larger and smaller extent, but actually we're meant to develop pure love of Godhead. So these are the 10 roots. You remember them? Durika, can you repeat some of them at least? First root is Asim Prabhu, please save us. No, total 10.
No, 7 on this.
Sambandha, 7. 1 for Abhidev. The first one is Praman. Praman, proof. So Shabda Praman is most significant. Shabda Praman. Amnaya Praha, that's why it's saying the scriptures proclaim. Amnaya means Vedic scripture. So they proclaim the following 9 pranayas. Okay, what are they? Remember.
That what is to be proved.
Yes, pranaya, to be proved.
So it's proof. That
Yes.
was
Yes.
the third one. That we have on our highest proof is the Shabda.
Yes. No, this is still praman. It's the first root, praman.
So the second root is
3 about Krishna.
oh,
Amnaya prahat tattvam harimaha paramam sarvashaktim rasabdim. First of all, he is Supreme Personality. Tattvam harim paramam. Okay. Yes. Second one, sarvashaktim. He is the source of all energies. Parasya shaktir vividaiva shruyate. Swabhaviki, Jnana Bala Kriyacha. Multifarious Shaktis. Srila Swami Prabhupada used to quote this verse very often. Parasya Shaktir Vidraivashrai. He is the source of all energies, but Sandhini, Samvid, Hladini are most significant. So in this verse it's say Upanishads. Yes, so he's the source of all Shaktis and he's the ocean of Rasa. Okay, so three roots concerning. Okay. Shaktis. All Rasa. All Rasa general. Yes. Now three about the Jivas, you remember. Jivasa tadbhinnamshamsha jivas. Jivas are vibhinnamsha. They are? Yes, they are infinitesimally small parts. Separated. That's vibhinnamsha means separated. Like they have complete, actually, free will. Because the avatars, Swamsha, according to Krishna's will, they come. Nrsimhadev comes, Vamanadev comes, Varahadev comes, etc. But the Jivas, you know, it's so-called freedom thing. So, separate. So, Tadbhinam Shivsha Jivan. Some of them, Prakrita Kavalitam, some of them, Vimukta, liberated, eternal. Yes. So, yes, three for Krishna, three for the Jivas. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So, as it sounds really here nicely, the Jivas are all separated parts of the Lord. Okay. Then, in bound state, the Jivas are under the influence of matter due to their tatastha nature. In the liberated state, the Jivas are free from the influence of matter due to their tatastha nature. Also tatastha.
Is that in the translation?
Yeah.
Like, it says, due to the tatastha nature,
Yeah.
they are different. Or did it say tatastha, the other things?
When we speak about these roots, specifically, we'll go a bit ahead. Then we'll be back to this question.
Sometimes acharyas, they put this in to help us understand.
Yeah.
But in the actual translation, but
Very interesting question. We'll discuss it a bit later, when we go to those subjects. Right, and the two roots about Abhideya and Prayojana.
1, 2, 3, that's 7.
Yeah. So 7 is Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. Yes.
And then sadhana is our process.
Yes.
Prema is our goal.
Yes. Sadhana is our process and prema is our goal. That's it. So now Amnaya Vakya is the final proof, chapter 2 of Dasa-mula-tattva book. So what is the meaning of Amnaya Vakya? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is asking. There is one verse. Amnaya Shrutaya Sakshat Brahma Videti Vishrutaha Guru Parampara Prapta Vishvakartu Hi Brahmaha. Amnaya refers to the scriptures called Brahma Vidya, or knowledge of Brahman, originating from Brahma, the creator of the universe, and passed down by disciplic succession. So Brahma, highest authority. Highest authority. No mind Brahma Vimohana Lila. This is Lila. But actually he's our authority undoubtedly. As we accept transcendental knowledge from Lord Brahma. He's our Sampradaya Acharya. There is no way we can be doubtful. So that knowledge passed down from Brahma, and how that is in Mundaka Upanishad. Like about Guru Parampara we know pretty much. We sing Guru Parampara song every morning, especially during Kartik. But here's the verse. Today I really want to look into, for the devotees, some important Siddhantic things. So Mundaka Upanishad is saying, Brahma Devanam Prathama Sambhabhuva Vishvasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sabrahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtam Atvaya Jeshta Putraya Praha Yana Ksharam Purusham Veda Satyam Pravocha Tam Tattvato Brahma Vidyam, Brahma, the original of the universe and protector of the worlds, the first among the Devatas, taught Brahma Vidya, the basis of all knowledge, to the eldest, his eldest son, Atharva. So Atharva Veda evolved from there. He taught that knowledge by which the indestructible Supreme Person can be known in his true form. Oh, we should remember certainly Brahma Samhita. Oh, yes. It's the book, prayer, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discovered on this planet when he was making pilgrimage of South India. So from South India, Mahaprabhu brought two books. One is the topmost book of the Tattva, that is Brahma Samhita, and one is the topmost book on the rasa, describing Krishna's incomparable sweetness, that is Srila Bilamangala Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita. So Brahma Samhita, Mahaprabhu noticed some Brahmins singing Brahma Samhita, and he made a copy of that scripture. And that actually is just the 5th chapter of the whole body of Brahma Samhita. So for this earth now, only 5th chapter belongs.
Just remembered by this.
Yes, they were meditating, and I'm sure they were learning it by heart, so they were meditating on it. So Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, from the Supreme Person's breath came the 4 Vedas, the histories, the Puranas, Upanishads, verses of sutras, and all the Anuvakyas, commentaries. The word histories refers to Ramayana and Mahabharata and similar works. Puranas, the 18 Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest. So the scriptures are divided into 2 categories, Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means whatever was received as revelation. Those are the 4 initial Vedas and Upanishads, commentaries on the Vedas. So, and Smritis. Smritis are scriptures which were memorized. Histories, Mahabharata, Ramayana, these are itihasas. And Puranas especially, Srimad Bhagavatam, the utmost Purana, the impeccable Purana. So we Vaishnavas accept most significant Upanishads. In Jaiva Dharma, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions 11. Kyana Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, yes, Isha Upanishad. Some I mentioned 5 out of 11. So Chaitanya Charitamrita certainly is stating the authority of the Vedas. Svata Pramana Veda Paramashiromani Lakshana Harita Svata Paramanahani. Self-evident Vedic literatures are the highest evidence of all, but if these literatures are interpreted, the self-evident nature is lost. So Mahaprabhu met so many impersonalists. Most significant are Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Prakashananda Saraswati. He made them devotees. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so much immersed in the impersonal conception, Mahaprabhu had to listen to him for 7 days incessantly, and then he just made him a devotee and exhibited his 6-armed form in Sarvabhauma Bhavan, in the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Very sweet pastime. So no one can be against actually the Supreme Lord if a person has divine nature. It's not possible that that person will be against the Supreme Lord. So that's why Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the incarnation of priest of the demigods, Brihaspati, yes. He played a very significant role in Mahaprabhu's Leela. He wrote Sarvabhauma Shataka, Sachidanaya Ashtaka, and many, many other wonderful songs and books. So what to speak of the 6 Goswamis, especially Srila Jiva Goswami? In his 6 Sandarbhas, he substantiated the authority of the Vedas, Krishna speaks to Uddhava, Kalena nashta pralaye vaniyam veda samgita maya do brahmane prokta yasyam dharmo mat atmakaha tena prokta svaruptraya manave yadir bhutani vidyante bhutanam patyas tatha evam prakriti vaichatra, etc. Krishna says to Uddhava, I first recited the Vedic message to Lord Brahma. You know, Krishna left Uddhava especially on this earth, to disseminate his doctrine, his teachings. Uddhava was very sad. He wanted to go with Krishna, but Krishna said no. That's why Uddhava Gita takes very special position. There, Krishna gave same knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, but in great depth. So here in this episode of Uddhava Samvad, Krishna is saying that he himself gave this knowledge to Brahma. Jnanam paramagu yamed vijnana samanvitam sarahasyam tadangam cha vritam grihitam mama. So Srimad Bhagavatam starts with these 4 shlokas of Lord Brahma. And before saying them, Krishna is saying, O Brahma, I will give you now Parama Jnana, the highest knowledge. Jnana, Vijnana, Rahasya, and Tadanga, the 4 parts of that knowledge. So, Jnana is the form of Krishna. He put into Brahma's heart. Therefore, Brahma was glorifying Krishna's transcendental form so much in Brahma Samhita later. So Vijnana is the energies of Krishna, Vijnana. Then Rahasya are the Jivas. Rahasya means confidential knowledge. Jiva is such a confidential tattva. You know. Also, Gurudev says that Rahasya pertains to Prema also. That the Jiva, such a miraculous entity, although being infinitesimally small, can develop Prema. Isn't it miraculous? So, Rahasya, Jiva, and Tadanga means belonging to that, or like a side, like a shadow. That is Pradhana or Maya. Yeah? So, Ritartam, one of the Chatur Shlokas I want to quote. Ritartam yat pratiyatana pratiyata chatmani tad vidyata atmano mayam yathabaso yathatamaha. O Brahma, that which seems to be unreal is actually but an emanation of my transcendental potency called Maya, Mahamaya. So that's why it seems to be unreal. Actually, everything is real but temporary. That is the theistic Siddhanta of the Vedas. So the Jiva is considered to be like a reflection, and Maya as a shadow, like this. So we just looked through a little bit, we touched the 4 main shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam because it's a separate subject again. But just to substantiate what Krishna is saying to Uddhava here, I quoted. So then Brahma later, Krishna is saying to Uddhava further on, so I gave that to Brahma, then Brahma later gave this knowledge to Manu and others, then Devatas, Rishis and mankind received this knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying to Arjuna that this knowledge had been lost. I first gave it to Vivaswan, the sun god, and he gave to Ikshvaku his son, and that was going on and on and on. Finally, it was unfortunately lost. So, lost doesn't mean it doesn't exist. For example, Saraswati is a river which is under the earth, but it does exist, and it meets Ganga and Yamuna at Prayag, the 3 rivers, Triveni, 3 rivers. So in that way, the knowledge, because of the sinful population and the mischievous activities, misbehavior, it becomes lost, as I say, hidden. But hidden or lost doesn't mean, hidden doesn't mean lost. Hidden doesn't mean doesn't exist. In the same way as people nowadays, especially in the West, they neglect morality whatsoever. Vedic morality. They don't even know that those are the norms of life. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. People go consciously against the laws of God, against karma. It doesn't mean that karma doesn't exist and that karma will get them. It will get them. So in that same way, the knowledge exists, and those best of the mankind have to come to that knowledge. And very interesting here, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami is saying in Tattva Sandarbha. So Tattva Sandarbha is the first Sandarbha which substantiates the principles of Sambandha, relationship between Ishvara, Jiva and Maya. Ishvara, living entity, and illusion. So he's saying, quote, I have just mentioned Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. In order to explain the meaning of these terms, I first will define the nature of authoritative proof. So Pramana is explained by Srila Jiva Goswami. Attention, attention. Srila Gurudev was joking, don't sleep, I will bring you pillows. Siddhanta is such a thing. Even Parvati, while listening to Lord Shiva, well, first 9 cantos, remember, fell asleep because they're very philosophical. And then 10th canto, very sweet, so she woke up. But anyway, if Gurudev was saying, I want my daughters to be like lionesses, not like meow, 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 so we have to listen to Siddhanta, not to sleep, right? So yes, Srila Jiva Goswami is saying, I've just mentioned Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. In order to explain the meaning of these terms, I first will define the nature of authoritative proof, means praman. Mankind is by nature afflicted with the 4 defects, we already mentioned, Brahma, Pramana, Vipralipsa, Karana, Patava. So, therefore, cannot understand inconceivable non-material matters. Direct sense perception will always be faulty. Therefore, sense perception, inference, and other normal means of knowledge cannot be considered as authoritative means of knowledge. The only means of knowledge, praman, for persons desiring knowledge of the ultimate supreme object, the ultimate shelter, the inconceivable, endowed with the most remarkable nature, is the Veda. The Veda is perfect knowledge concerning both material and spiritual topics, handed down through a parampara of realized persons. So attention, attention, realized persons here. So pratyaksha also is involved. But pratyaksha goes strictly in the line of Shabda Praman. Pratyaksha cannot contradict Shabda Praman. Pratyaksha, direct experience. Pratyaksha, I see fire. So the great souls, members of Guru Parampara, are actually seeing, are actually experiencing the reality of spiritual world, the rasa of spiritual world, the depth of prema, which lives in the spiritual world. That's why it all goes according to statements of the Shastra, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Paramahamsa Samhita. And Srimad Bhagavatam can be conceived only in trance. So when Narada came to Vyas, he saw Vyas was sitting somewhat morose, remember, because he hadn't written Srimad Bhagavatam, that was the reason, and told him, you have to go to trance to realize Bhagavatam, enter trance. So Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Vyavasita Male Pashyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Che Pashritam. So Vyasadeva went into trance, Bhakti Yogena, of Bhakti Yoga. And in his mind, he saw Purusham Purnam, full manifestation of Supreme Personality of God. Why? Srila Gurudev was saying, because Radhika was near Krishna. Without Srimati Radhika, Purusha cannot be Purna. That's why Purusha Purna is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually, Radhika and Krishna together. So he realized that, and also he saw Maya standing by the side as a shadow inside of Krishna. So he saw that how Maya acts, how Maya throws everyone in illusion like this. Okay. Any questions about Praman? Pramana is the first root. Okay, so most important Praman, Madhurika, which one? Shabda. You have to know. Shabda means Amnaya, means Vedic scriptures. But also Pratyaksha is important because Pratyaksha is always there, but it's substantiated by Shabda Praman. So in I think in these songbooks there's Upadeshavali, right? Can I have one paper songbook, please? Paper songbook, give. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada in his... Oh, there are no Upadeshavalis, I think, yeah. Anyway, no problem. So, yes, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, or our Param Gurudev also said that Pratyaksha in the line of Shabda, that is the process for realizing absolute truth. Okay, no problem. So now we're coming to the second root, which is the first root of Prameya Tattva, of elements to be proved. So the three of those elements consider Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. Remember. The third, the second three about the jivas. And the seventh is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. They constitute Sam, Ban. Okay, you remember. So now, Tattvam Harim Eha Purusham, the second root. Krishna is the absolute truth.
The whole verse was like
Mula Shloka. Yeah, that was Mula Shloka. That was the first.
you read the whole thing.
Yeah, we're reading. But they're given, especially, they're given in Jaiva Dharma. Here, I don't know if he quotes in this book. Not necessarily he quotes each and every one, but you can find in Jaiva Dharma. So we just quoted today, like, huh?
So this is a book about Dasa-mula.
Yeah, this is Dasa-mula-tattva, the book of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We're just looking through now. See, this is not Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma is very diligent, and every day Vrajanath comes, and then Babaji Maharaj quotes new shlok and then explains. So, simply very interesting for us as devotees to hear these quotations substantiating the truths of these roots. So, the Karika. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, instead of presenting the whole shlok, I understand, here, presents Karika, like delining shlok. Text. Amnaya Shrutaya Sakshat Brahma Vidyeti Vishrutaha Guru Parampara Prapta Vishwa Kartu Hi Brahmanaha. Amnaya refers to the scriptures called... sorry. Karika. Yes, just back, yes. So, Krishna is supreme absolute truth. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is the following authoritative statement, Amnaya Vakya, concerning Krishna. Mukhya Gauna Vritti Kimva Anvaya Vyatireke Vedara Pratigya Kevala Athaya Krishna. Vedas sometimes speak directly of Krishna, sometimes indirectly. Sometimes they speak of Krishna with affirmative logical statements, and sometimes with negative or contrary expression. So in the Vedas, many things are said about Krishna. Yes. So I was just looking through today about through Srila Gurudev's speech in Birmingham 2003, with Lord Mayor present and members of all religious groups. That was like Unitarian happening in Birmingham. Lord Mayor came with his wife and so many religious groups. Everybody was there, all kinds of Christians, even Mormons, Muslims, everyone came. I don't know, Buddhists, but anyway, most groups were there. And Gurudev gave that famous class, Love is God and God is Love. And the way of love is transcription of that katha, that booklet. So, so he said, he was speaking about, mentioning about Krishna's personal form in other religions. And he said also about the Vedas. So he said that some places of the Vedas, they state directly about position of Krishna and his wonderful qualities, his personal nature. And some are speaking just about the impersonal features, or they say indirectly. So Krishna says himself in Bhagavad Gita that people who are not deep are misled by the flowery language of the Vedas. So they don't know if Krishna really is the Supreme Personality of Godhead often, or they may think that he's an incarnation, for example, of Vishnu, etc. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, Krishna Sarvashraya, Parama Ishvara Krishna Sarvashaktikaya. This personality of Godhead Krishna is the original primal Lord, the source of all other expansions. All the revealed scriptures accept Sri Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying to Sri Sanatana Goswami about Advaya Jnana Paratattva, the supreme undivided absolute truth. Advaya Jnana Tattva Vastu Krishna Raswarup Brahma Atma Bhagavan Tina Tamara Rup. Sri Krishna himself is one undivided absolute truth, ultimate reality. He manifests himself as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan, as said in the beginning of Bhagavatam. Vadanti tattva Jnanam Advayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavanti Shabdi. So he's known as Bhagavan, the possessor of 6 opulences, as the Supreme Personality. 6 opulences. Shri is the main one, beauty. Out of Shri there are 3 coming out. What are they? What do you can remember? Aishwarya, Virya, Yasha. Aishwarya, opulences. Virya is powers, yes, strength. And Yasha means glory. So from Yasha, from glory, another 2 are coming, Jnana and Vairagya. Knowledge and realization, which are peripheral. So they're like, as if external. We cannot say external, okay, secondary. That is the proper word. So they are like continuation of his glories, Yasha. Jnana and Vairagya, knowledge and renunciation. But the main one is Shri. So that is Bhagavan. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya, in that verse, Purana, it says. 6. So that is Bhagavan. Then Brahman, impersonal aspect, the object of meditation of jnanis, yogis, etc. And then localized Paramatma, Super Soul. Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, his abode. I'm sorry, yes, milk ocean. So,
So these 3 you're not saying, you're saying in no particular order.
Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdati. That's the order of the original verse of the Bhagavad. The order doesn't matter, the principle matters here. So you can mention that the principle is Bhagavan. So Brahman has only the feature of Sat. Paramatma has Sat and Chit, eternity and knowledge. And Bhagavan has all 3 in full, Sat, Chit, Ananda, eternity, knowledge and bliss. All right. So that is Bhagavan. And so this verse is really, really not easy because it's called actually Vyasakuta, the mystery of Vyasadeva. When Vyasa was recording the Bhagavatam, then Ganesh was recording. He was, Vyasa was speaking and Ganesh was recording, secretary. He was recording. So Vyasa told Ganesh, you record only if you understand completely. If you don't understand completely, don't record, stop. Then you understand and you have to realize what you're not doing mechanically. So Ganesh stopped at this verse, 1, 2, 6. He stopped. Vyasakuta, the puzzle of Vyasa. So he could not understand how the Supreme Personality can be Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan simultaneously. So this is called Advaya Jnana Paratattva. Advaya Jnana Paratattva. Advaya means in Advaya means non-dual, para-tattva means supreme, absolute truth, non-dual, seems to be like separate. So this is Bhagavan, this is Brahman, and this is Paramatma. Actually not. So those who understand him as Advaya Jnana Paratattva consider, how to say, they achieve the highest knowledge of Advaita, non-duality. They're all one, belonging to the same Bhagavan, Supreme Personality, and just external, how to say, localized feature and impersonal feature, but they're belonging to the same Supreme Personality. So,
But Krishna also says in the Gita, like, gives a hint that actually they're very small compared to him.
yeah, Jivas.
No, because he says with a tiny fragment of my
Oh, yeah.
cell,
Ad permeatum.
pervading into the universe. That's the Paramatma. So it's showing that it's Bhagavan is so much more.
Yeah, that's a good point, for sure. So, Shvetashvatara Upanishad says, Eko Deva Bhagavan Varenyo Yoni Swabhavan Adishtatyeka. Bhagavan is worshipable by all. These are like super classics we're hearing today. He is the basis of all entities who take birth. And certainly the famous quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, Ete chamsha kalapumsa krishnastu bhagavan swayam indradi vyakulam lokam vidayanti yuge yuge. 25 incarnations mentioned in Bhagavatam in the first canto. And then Shukadev Goswami is saying, amongst all, Krishna is the head, Krishna is the source, and all of them are parts and parcels, kala, the amsha, of the Supreme Whole. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matta parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. Onkapuru, wealth, there's no truth higher than me, superior than me. What's that? Vedanta Videshta Sarvaham Eva Vidya Vedanta Kritveda Videva Chaham, he says in 15:15, also Bhagavad Gita, that I am to be known by all the Vedas. The object of the knowledge of all Vedanta is me, but I'm also the compiler of Vedanta and the knower of Vedanta. So then Krishna comes as Vyasadeva, his Shakti Avatar, who is the knower of Vedanta, compiler of, how to say, new edition of the Vedas for Kali Yuga. And yes, so they were recorded. Gopala-tapani Upanishad, the very famous Upanishad, proclaims that Krishna is the Supreme Personality. There's a famous verse, Apashyam Gopam, starting from that, I think, Gopala-tapani Upanishad. I have seen a cowherd boy. So that's, I think, Rigveda even.
That was Rigveda.
Yes, Rigveda. Apashyam Gopam, I have seen the cowherd boy.
That's not Rigveda. That's the second.
Gopala Upanishad, I don't know exactly which Veda it belongs to, but it clarifies the meanings of the initial Vedas. So Gopala-tapani Upanishad is saying, Tasmat Krishna eva paro devastam dhyayetam rasitam bhajitam yajit ekovasi sarvaga Krishna idya ekopi san bahudayo vibhati tam prithastam yetu bhajanti dhiras tesham sukham shashvatam netaresham. Therefore, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Here you go, Upanishads. One should meditate on him, chant his name, worship him, and make offerings to him. All-pervading and controlling all, he is to be worshipped. Though he is one, he appears in many forms such as Kurma, Matsya, Vasudeva, and Sankarshan. Different types of Purusha avatars, and 6 types. So those 5 persons who worship this form situated on this pita attain eternal happiness. Others worshipping Brahman and Paramatma cannot attain happiness. Kevala Ashanta. Mahaprabhu is saying Those who worship Krishna, the Supreme Personality, Bhagavan, are peaceful. Sateva Shanta. But those who are Siddhi, Kami, Yogi, those who Jnani, yes, those who into the cognizance of his impersonal aspect or localized aspect, are always Ashanta. Non-satisfied, not satisfied. Why? Because even after achieving that realization, they have to come down. Yes, yet, yeah. What's that? That verse. Yeah, I remember it, but cannot remember because too tired. Huh?
And the worshippers of Paramatma achieve Shantaras.
They are in Shantaras actually. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he describes Shantarasa, he's saying that actually that is the attainment of jnanis and yogis. Shantaras, neutrality. So
Shantaras was still not
yeah, that's Bhakti Rasa, but you know, the four Kumaras that are in it, but they don't go beyond. So Karika. Now Karika, he's giving this gist of this root. Krishnam sha paramatma vai brahmata jyotir evacha paravyoma dhipastasya ishvaryam murtirna samshaya. Krishna is the only Lord, Paramatma is his part, and Brahman is his light. Narayana in Vaikuntha is a lordly manifestation of Krishna. So that's it. So Brahman is eternal, conscious, and infinite, Taittiriya Upanishad is saying. And Vishnu Purana uses the word Brahman to mean Krishna in the following quotation. Yatravatirnam Krishna kyam param brahma narakritim. The Supreme Brahman called Krishna appeared in a human form. Gita says, Brahmana hi pratishtam. I am the basis of Brahman. So, in the 14th chapter of Gita, Krishna speaks about the three modes. But at the end, he's saying, Brahmana hi pratishtanam amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya kantikasya cha. Dharmasya. Sukhasya kantikasya cha. So I am the basis of that Brahman, which is to be known by those who want to transcend the gunas, the modes of nature. So Krishna has 64 qualities, out of which the four last ones on the list, are most specific. They belong to Krishna and only to him. Do you remember? Lavanya, what are they? Rupa Madhuri, the beauty of his form. Lila Madhuri, the beauty of his lilas. Prema Madhuri, the beauty of his divine love. And Venu Madhuri, the beauty of his flute play. So, the jivas, we have 50 qualities out of 64, to minor degree, such as beauty, for example. Some beauty we have for some time, then it goes. Then Lord Shiva and other demigods, they have 5 extra qualities. 55 they have. Then Lord Narayan and other incarnations have 5 extra, being Sachidananda, never losing the Swarup, and many others. So the 60. And the 4 others belong only to Krishna. Lord Ram has 62 and a half. Yes, 62 and a half. So they consist of sum total of Krishna's qualities manifested in Lord Ram. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, "Oh Arjuna, why do you need detailed knowledge? Yes, with a single friend of myself, I pervade and support this entire." So this is about Krishna being the Supreme Personality. I'm also making portions because if we examine all, then we might collapse. It's so deep. So Krishna is endowed with all energies. That is Sarva Shaktim principle. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur admits in the beginning that the topic of energy and the possessor of energies has been under discussion for a long time. Many learned persons are discussing that because Vaishnavas and Gyanis, yogis, they have different conception and they discuss. So some people doubt whether there is anything other than energy, Shaktas. And some people doubt that Brahman possesses energy. They're saying he's Nirashakta. There's no energy. So different conceptions. So very important point Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes here. The things themselves cannot be realized, but are perceived only through their energy. So there's an object, and there's a wave, so to speak, the energy. He emanates. So we call Earth a collection of those qualities. One cannot say whether Earth exists or not after taking away the qualities. Qualities are energy. Therefore, energy is the only principle of existence. Important point. Without energy, no life. Without Radha, Krishna has no life. Radhika is Krishna Jivani. It's the life of Krishna. And she's Gunamala. She's the repository of all transcendental qualities. That's why Krishna possesses those qualities because of Radha. That is already Rasa Siddhanta. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Radha Purna Shakti Krishna Purna Shaktiman Duivastu Vedanahi Shastra Paraman Mrigamada Taraganda Yaiche Avicheda Agni Jvalati Yaiche Kavunahi Veda Radha Krishna Aiche Sada Eka Swarup Leela Rasa Aswadite Dharidu Rup. Shri Radha is the full power and Krishna is the possessor of the full power. Shakti Man. The two are non-different. Duivastu Vedanahi. And all Shastras, all the scriptures substantiate that. They are indeed the same, just as musk and the scent are inseparable, or as the fire and heat are non-different. That is Radha and Krishna, and their unity. They've taken two forms to enjoy the mellows of pastimes. Radha Krishna pranaya vikritir tadini shakti rasmat ekatmanamapi bhutara deha bedam gatoti. Chaitanya kyam prakadamadudantadvayam chaikimaptat Radha bhava duty suvaditam naumi Krishna swarupam. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he came as Radha and Krishna together. So Krishna, having accepted the bhava and kanti of Srimati Radhika. Bhava means mood, kanti means bodily hue. So Adhunam now, they have come as one manifestation, Ekatma, Radha and Krishna. So this is the highest manifestation of Krishna and his energy, Srimati Radhika. So Mahaprabhu represents that. And he teaches that, therefore. That's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, we are actually Shaktas. We are the worshippers of Shakti, and we are the proponents of the philosophy of what? Shakti Parinama Vada. That is our methodology. If somebody asks you, what's your Vada, what's your theory, what's your methodology? You say, Shakti Parinama. Parinama means? Parinama, transformation. Transformation. Shakti Parinama. So, by the usage of his energies, Krishna manifests this material world. That is Maya Shakti. He manifests all the jivas, that is Jiva Shakti. And he manifests all the variegatedness of spiritual world, Chit Shakti. So when he's fully united with his Chit Shakti, all variegatedness of spiritual world manifest. When he's fully together with his Jiva Shakti, all jivas manifest in this material world. And when he's completely united with his Maya Shakti, then all material manifestation manifests, comes into being. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying further on, actually there is no other object than Krishna. For that reason, Krishna is called Advaya and without a second. He's Advaya Gyanaparata, one without a second. So, but by his will, he became two and so many. So that happened because of the transformation of his energies, Shakti Parinama. So there's a big subject actually, Shakti Parinama. Oh, this is actually, how to say, explaining the same from different angles. When we speak about, yeah, so this is more general. Shakti Parinama pertains to the Shakti Tattva mostly. So we have to understand that by the transformations of his energies, the Supreme Lord has, yes, he has manifested all those phenomena which are actually himself only. This material world is Krishna, only Krishna. But there's specification coming from Shakti Parinama Vada, the doctrine of transformation of the energies. That's why, like yogurt, etc., we can say. So these are separated objects, Vastu, but they're coming from the original Krishna Vastava Vastu, truly abiding substance, by the dint of the transformation of the energy, Shakti Parinama. So, the Lord reveals himself into the heart of the devotee also by his energy. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyana medayana bahuna shrutena yam evaisha vrinutitena labhyastasya shayatma vivrinutitanam swam. Not possible to understand the Supreme Lord by studying the Vedas. Not possible by talks, bahuna shrutena, by studies of the scriptures. No. If he chooses you, then he reveals that knowledge into you. So causeless knowledge comes. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojata Janash Vairagyam Jnanam Chayata Haitukam. Jnana and Vairagya, knowledge and renunciation, come automatically into the heart of a person who is worshipping Krishna. So also by Lord energy, by his Kripa Shakti, mercy of his mercy, energy of his mercy, it becomes possible. Oh, this famous verse I was quoting here is quoted in full now, Shruta Shrutara Upanishad 6.8. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate natat samascha vedikasya drishyate parasya shaktir vividaiva shruyate svabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. He has multifarious energies. That is the theistic Vedanta. So what Shankara did, he turned it upside down, crossing out the principle of Shakti whatsoever. Brahman is Nirashakta. So Mahaprabhu, even Gopinath Acharya, the son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, was saying, how can you say Krishna is Nirashakta? And he's saying, quoting many verses, of theistic Vedanta, like this. So, okay, to cut long story short, Krishna is the repository of all Shaktis, of all energies. We're giving overview today, actually, as it's a topic of seminar, but seminar is waiting for us in Crawley, that is Harinama Chintamani. So he is Rasabdhim, he is the reservoir of all rasa, or pleasure, it is said. Rasa is the greatest pleasure, greatest taste. When you drink something, like your favorite drink in this world, I know it's Charanamrita from, in the case of our devotees, so that is greatest pleasure, especially from your guru's lotus feet, that is like highest moment of happiness. So this is called rasa. Then you become rasika as the person whose lotus feet had been washed. So, but Krishna is the original source of rasa, raso vaisaha. So Taittiriya Upanishad, that very famous verse, Taittiriya Upanishad 2:7, which is quoted so many times. Raso vai saha rasam hevayam labdvanandi bhavati ko hevanyat ka pranyat yat esha akasha anando nasyat esha hevanandayati. The supreme truth is rasa. The jiva becomes blissful on attaining this rasa. Who would work with body and prana if this blissful complete form did not exist? He gives bliss to all. So, because Krishna is Rasika, he gives rasa or bliss to all. Rasa is greatest pleasure. That's what is said. So, in the workings of rasa, rati or sthai bhava, permanent inclination, is the container. On the base of sthai bhava, have you heard sthai bhava? Permanent ecstasy. So, on the base of sthai bhava, the four ingredients of rasa are being built up. That is vibhava, anubhava, sattvika, and vyabhichari. So, in Rasika literature, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, etc., these things are described. How in our heart rasa is growing, brewing, becoming more and more saturated with taste, mellow. So, Ashraya and Vishaya, Ashraya Lamban, Vishaya Lamban. Krishna is the object of all rasas, and Ashraya, the devotees, are the containers of that rasa. They are the repository of those rasas, of love of Krishna. That's why we're taking shelter of devotees, not Krishna directly, only himself, without the help of devotees. The main devotee, what's her name? Srimati Radhika Radha Bhakti Devi. She is the container of highest rasa. When Krishna becomes greedy by looking at that rasa. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining to Srila Rupa Goswami that by regular devotional service, one actually gradually becomes knowledgeable of all rasas. He's growing, his understanding in the rasa becomes solidified, coming the gradation from sugarcane juice to solid molasses, yes, and then lozenge, and then sugar as we see it. So it becomes thicker and thicker and thicker. Every devotee is experiencing rasa with Krishna. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you can see for each and every rasa, the ingredients, the particular position of all the ingredients of rasa, how that rasa becomes more and more mature in each and every heart, depending on the mood of the devotee, based upon constant ecstasy or sthai bhava. So then finally, the jivas, three other points. Jivas are separated parts of Krishna. So we can start from your first question. Asim Prabhu was asking about the jivas in the very beginning when we were touching, just enumerating the roots. You remember your question? Yeah, if you have any questions, we can start from it. Or we can listen a little bit, maybe some hints will be there for you. So, there is much disagreement concerning the nature of individual soul of jiva. Yeah, because the Advaitavadis, they are saying what? The jiva is what? That same Brahman. That same Brahman which was covered by Maya. Well, the question is, what's the source of Maya then? Where did Maya come from and cover the jiva? If Brahman is so powerful and jiva is Brahman, where did Maya appear from? So even the child sees the absurdity of that type of understanding, philosophy. So, according to his nature, every human being will hold a different conclusion about the jiva. Those under the influence of ignorance believe that the jiva is an object arising from material elements, chemicals. materialistic scientists. Those who are influenced by a mixture of ignorance and passion say that only human beings have souls. Here you go, religions of this world, Christianity, etc. Animals are less than humans. That's why they have no souls, have to be cut and eaten. That's what they think. And that those in the mood of passion say that, so first, the tamaguna knowledge, jiva is the combination of matter. Those rajan, those who are in mixture of raja and tamaguna, they think only humans have souls. Then by pure passion, people in pure passion say that humans, animals and birds are all jivas and they believe in the previous and future lives, but they do not believe in a pure spiritual destination beyond the gross material realm. They have to remain in the material world. These people are in rajas. So people in sattva guna are, what's it called? Moral theists. They are believers in God. So they see all living entities are children of God. So these people are in sattva, but there are many moral theists. Moral theists are in raja tamaguna as well, like mixture of rajatama and raja. But exactly. This is mixture of rajatama guna we just saw. So those who are in sattva guna, they say all are children of God, and if these people are belonging to any of the religions of the world, very easily they will take Vedic conception. Very easily, they will find it very wholesome and very deep, universal. So they will easily take up. Tatasta nature. Yeah. Tatasta shloka. Okay, so when we come to the next root, this is the root, the how to say, introductory root, just speaking about the jivas being separated parts. But now we are coming to the jivas covered by Maya. You can read chapter 16 of Jayavadharma. That discusses the position of the jivas covered by Maya. Here it mentions only briefly, so we are coming to that root where we discuss the jiva in Maya. The jiva's quality of tatastha was discussed in the previous chapter, or actually in the previous chapter discussed. So what's your question exactly?
Basically, there was a thing that said some jivas are liberated and some are conditioned due to their nature in tatastha.
Yes.
So my question was, is the nature of tatastha, was that in the slogan, or is that something that they have added from translation?
Tad binnamsya jivam prakrita kavalitas tad vimuktasya bhavat. Tad binnamsya jivam prakrita kavalitan, some are covered by Maya. The shloka says, Mula shloka says. What exactly this particular shloka says, I'll tell you later, because it cannot, it's not presented here. That vimuktas, some are liberated. That's what it says. So apart from ever liberated devotees, there are conditioned souls who always turn away from the service of the Lord. And they're perpetually conditioned in this material world. Perpetually means time immemorial. So since this material world is not eternal, it has its timings, beginning and end. But the jivas are eternal though. So sometimes they manifest, sometimes they non-manifest. So from time immemorial, when jiva again enters this world, after the being in a non-manifest condition, then the jiva is again conditioned, still conditioned. Upanishads are saying, the Shuddha Shupar Upanishad, though the jiva is situated in a material body, it is a subtle energy and entity, non-material in nature. Even if the tip of a hair is divided up to 100 times, One part is divided again 100 times, it cannot compare to the minuteness of the soul. So Shveta Upanishad is stating the minute measurement of the jiva, 10,000 of a tip of a hair. Shveta Upanishad is saying about the jiva that jivas are taking many, many births according to their actions through desires, touch, sight, illusion, eating, water, and rain. Jiva attains numerous forms of gross and subtle bodies through qualities he develops. And though the quality of action and self, through quality of action and self, he becomes covered by other bodies. Also, very wonderful book by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Amnaya Sutra. One time we'll have seminar sometime. Amazing book. So here is also quoting it. Being averse to the Lord, the jivas become absorbed in ignorance. Because of this, they forget their true identity or form. Having forgotten their identity from their selfish enjoyment and action, they accept terrible restriction or bondage. Identification of self with gross and subtle material bodies is the cause of their suffering in the world. So in this regard, I would like to quote something from 16th chapter of Jaiva Dharma and the famous questions of Rajanath. Rajanath is saying, being unable to understand why the Lord had put jiva in this material world. He knew that the path of jiva will be so troublesome, so miserable. Why didn't he choose any other path for the jiva? But Babaji is saying, please don't forget that the Supreme Lord is not only Kripamoy, He's merciful, He's Lilamoy, He's ocean of Leelas. So the fact that some jivas are conditioned, they have to be conditioned according to the original design of the Lord, is actually a manifestation of His mercy only. We have to understand. The fact that with whole humility, which is certainly being cultivated on the path of bhakti, we, putting our hand on our heart, we have to say, actually, this is my own fault. I have diverted from Krishna. I was attracted by Maya, so that is my mistake, my own mistake. Never a devotee should blame Krishna for that. It's not Krishna's fault. Krishna is performing lila, and according to his desire, some jivas have to be conditioned. But they are conditioned by their own fault, not by Krishna's fault. Krishna has no fault. Simply, we are separated jivas, his parts, which have no chidbala, spiritual strength. We're devoid of chidbala. Since we are devoid of chidbala, we have to take the practice of sadhana bhakti, which gives us chidbala, spiritual strength. Without spiritual practice, we will not have spiritual strength. We are very minute and, how to say, weak. Okay. So the smallest blow of Maya will blow us somewhere. So we have to, find our way from there. And the force of that Maya brings us new and new adventures in Maya. So now we're coming to the liberated jivas. Through the jiva overcome by Maya, although the jiva overcome by Maya is bound by the chains of beginningless impressions and karma, it does not lose his marginal form and quality. So jivas will always be marginal. Means we'll never become Krishna. We'll never become. That's what Advaita Vedanta is assuming, that we have to become God. I'm Brahman, you are Brahman, everyone's together, no distinction, no differentiation. So, terrible philosophy. So we'll always become jiva, marginal. Well, technically speaking, those living entities in the spiritual world, they may not be called jivas. But anyway, in 16th chapter of Jayavadharma, they're called such also. Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is that they had emanated from Chit Shakti, not Jiva Shakti, one thing. They emanated from Chit Shakti directly, those eternal associates. So all incarnations of Krishna and all the associates of spiritual world, the servants, different races, they are actually parts of Chit Shakti, transformation of Chit Shakti only. But the jivas who come from the glands of Mahavishnu are emanations of Jiva Shakti. That's the difference. But the marginal nature, always typical for the jivas, they will never be separated with that, from that marginal nature. They are imbued with it, how to say? They become fully covered. And that's why the residents of spiritual world don't see any difference, and Krishna also doesn't see any difference. They're always with him, they're always serving him. So there's not really difference. They're all teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sri Sanatana Goswami. Simply looking at the clock, we have to come to some conclusion soon. So, when the jiva's nature, svabhava, is formed, the only doer or responsible being is Supreme Lord. No one else exists. Free will or independence is implicit with formation or anything spiritual, of anything spiritual. Will of independence. So, jivas are independent, and those who serve Krishna in spiritual world are also using their independence, but correctly. So they're choosing the service. The relation to the Creator remains only in the creation itself. All actions of the spiritual jiva after his creation have no relation to the Lord. So also not completely correct to call creation of the jivas. They're not created really, they emanate. They are eternally existent. They just emanate from the Lord like sparks from fire. The jiva equipped with full independence first becomes either favorable or averse to the Lord. This is the first act of the jiva. In that, the jiva is the prime doer. You see? Totally initiative of the jiva. Do what you like. Krishna is just watching. And they do what they like. So the famous example of pouring mustard seed on the edge of knife. At the time of that activity, the Lord is only accompanying doer as Paramatma. In that, he gives the results to the jiva's activities. Having entered ignorance, the material realm, the doers become threefold. Means they depend on, yes, three gunas, three modes. Oh, no. Threefold means 3 points. The jiva becomes the prime doer of all activities. Matter, which exists the jiva, becomes the secondary doer. And the Lord, in giving the fruits, becomes the associated doer. Oh, very important, see? So when the jiva enters the world of ignorance, material world, then the activities, or the doers, how to say, become threefold, three doers. So the first initiative is for the jiva, primal doer. Then matter assisting, and the Lord giving the fruits. And it's associated.
So the matter is mind.
Yeah. Matter is immediately there. As soon as we choose ignorance, then Maya is there, and the fourfold karma is, what's that? Kuta bija prarabdha, immediately is in action, like this. Though the jiva by his free will has become overcome by ignorance, He does not lose his responsibility as the prime doer. It belongs in the jiva. Do what you like. Just do what you like is real truth. In this world, demons crazy give us democracy. But actually the primal system is divine. This is our free will and our primal activity. So matter assists and the Lord assists and gives results. Come on, come on. Paramatma gives results. So, yes. Destinies of an atheist and religious person are not judged in the same way. According to the actions of the jiva, the particular results are given. The results of action of two types, material and spiritual. Here we go. So like this belongs on the jiva. So jiva's interest is to take up part of sadhana bhakti, which is described in the next section. So jiva, Ishvara, jiva and Maya are related how to say, by this principle of the achintya bheda bheda tattva, in simultaneous unity and difference. So these three were examined by many philosophers. Dattatreya, Ashtavakra, Durvasa, etc. Then Shankara came. Shankara came and made the conclusion they are all one, monism, absolute monism. Then later, Narada, Prahlad, Dhruva, Manu, and the Vaishnavas, they arrived at the conclusion that the main philosophy, the true philosophy, is pure bhakti. 4 types of bhakti philosophy: Ramanujacharya Vishishta Dvaitavada, Madhvacharya Shuddha Dvaita, Nimbarkacharya Dvaita Dvaita, and Vishnuswami Shuddha Advaita. So they were preaching this philosophy, and then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he synthesized the teachings of the four sampradayas in his Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva philosophy. That's why in the main temple, Sri Chaitanya Mat of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Acharyas of the four sampradayas are standing by the 4 sides of Gandharvika Giridhari, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya closer, Vishnu Swami and Nimbaditya a bit further. So sadhanam Shuddha Bhakti, the sadhana or the path of the jiva is pure bhakti. We are starting pure bhakti right now. Certainly it's not pure at once, but by gradual cultivation it will become pure, same as you want to, you have a pencil and you have a knife, so you make the edge of the pencil sharp by gradual endeavor. It will take a few minutes maybe, if you're new to process, or you can make a special machine. If you really make, how to say, use best of meeting with Sadguru, and it will very quickly. Even Guru will be holding you by the hand and making you roll that machine, roll the pencil, and it will become sharp very quickly. Anyavilasita shunyam gyana karma dhyanamritam anukulyana krishna nushilanam bhaktir uttama. You have to know the exact meaning of this verse. This is like superb verse, the most classical verb delineating pure bhakti or pure devotional service. So you have to read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu introduction, where it's very nicely described by Srila Gurudev. So to serve Krishna in a favorable mood by all senses is called Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Anushilanam means, Anushilanam means what? Anushilanam means cultivation. Krishna Anushilanam, cultivation of all activities, totally dedicated to the good of Krishna, not even happiness. Krishna may be happy. He may be happy when he kills the demons or he fights with some Chandra Mushtika. But when Yashoda binds Krishna, he is unhappy. So no mind. It's for his good. He's bound for Yashoda. So it has to be dedicated to Krishna's good. So in Abhilasitashunam Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. So that constant cultivation which is performed by body, mind and words, by both Cheshta Rupa and Bhava Rupa. Cheshta Rupa means endeavors of your body, mind and words, and Bhava Rupa means on the level of Bhava of your emotions. So it has to be devoid of Jnana, Yoga, Vairagya, etc. Anyabilasita Shunyam, and devoid of all the extraneous desires, unnecessary desires. So it has to be anukul also. Anukul means very, very favorable. So dedicated to Krishna's happiness, Krishna's good actually. So when you practice other processes, jnana, yoga, then you realize Brahman or Paramatma. But only if you practice pure bhakti, you will be able to achieve the results described in this verse, Krishna Nushilanam, the cultivation of activities meant for Krishna's good. So on this path, there will be kleshas, different impediments, but they will be overcome very quickly, and the devotee will traverse the paths of sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. So there are 6 leaves on the tree of devotion. The seed will become a sprout, and the first 2 leaves will be Kleshagni and Shubhada. Kleshagni means all the inauspicious things disappear, all the miseries will disappear, and Shubhada means all good fortune will come into the life of devotee. So these are the 2 first leaves. The outer surface is somewhat rough, and the inner surface is very delicate. So the outer surface is Vaidhi Bhakti, inner surface, Raganuga Bhakti. So then, on the level of Bhava, another 2 leaves will grow. What are they? Moksha Laguta Krit and Sudurlabha. Moksha Laguta Krit. Moksha is not a significant attainment even comparing to Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. And Sudurlabha, very, very rare. So devotee on the level of Bhava realizes these 2 things. And the level of Prema, Sandrananda Visheshatma, and Sri Krishna Akarshanya Chasa. There will be 2 more leaves. Sandrananda Visheshatma, intense bliss will shower upon the devotee, and Krishna Akarshani, Krishna will become attracted to the prema of the devotee. So this is these are the final leaves of the 6.
What was the last one? And previous to
Sudurlabha, very rare. Yeah, yeah. Moksha Laguta Krit. Moksha, or impersonal liberation, is quite insignificant comparing to Bhav. When Bhav comes into heart, then what's that? Heart becomes satiated with Prema Suryamsha Sadhyabhak, Matsrinya. Heart will become saturated with emotions. So when devotee experiences those emotions, he or she will understand that moksha is just nothing comparing to that condition of rasa. So then rasa becomes more and more intense, and then Sandarananda Visheshatma, complete bliss comes, full shower, and Karshana Krishna will be attracted. So all those things we will definitely experience. There are many, many types of bhakti being described here. Mixed bhakti, pure bhakti, then Raganuga bhakti, Vaidhi bhakti, Raganuga bhakti, all those things. And then Prayojana, final goal, the final route, That is the pivot of the whole Dasa-mula, 10 roots, and the pivot of our today's discussion of tattva, which in the beginning quite boring and rough, but at the end brings supreme bliss. So attention, attention, prayojana now. Everybody wake up. Great, great goal. So Srila Rupa Goswami heard from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that prema is a very, very rare gift. When a devotee becomes sadhaka, one has to take care of the creeper of devotion. Creeper of devotion, very nice picture, is given along with the edition of Madhurya Kadambini, Srila Gurudev. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the growth of devotional creeper. So then, finally, when the creeper becomes mature tree gives fruit, prema. So that fruit of prema is very, very nectarian, incomparably tasty. There the devotee serves, then one gets to Goloka Vrindavan, and there the devotee serves the lotus feet of the Lord, which are compared to a wish-fulfilling tree. With great bliss he tastes the juice of the fruit of love and becomes eternally happy. To taste the fruit of devotional service in Goloka Vrindavan is the highest perfection of life, and the presence of such perfection, the four material perfections, religion, economic development, sense, gratification, liberation, kama, artha, dharma, moksha, are very insignificant. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that to Srila Rupa Goswami. It's expressed here. Samyam masrinta svanto mamatva yankitaha bhavasa eva sandratma buddha prema nikati. So when bhava becomes very concentrated, it manifests as prema. And the bhava softens the heart completely, becomes endowed with a great feeling of possessiveness in relation to the Lord, becomes very much condensed and intensified, and it's called prema by learned scholar. In order to achieve that, we have to develop our mamata, possessiveness. So right now, even, we have some feeling of prema because of Sri Guru's grace. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was given Prema Nama, the holy name endowed with Prema. It's like a garland. Garland consists of flowers. These are the names. And the thread inside, this is Prema. So Prema Nama. Shinama Prema Daitam. We say in the pranama of Shiva Bhakti, Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Param Gurudev. Same principle. So even now, when Acharya comes, Sri Guru comes and says, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So this be happy thing is prema, emanating from his lotus feet, from his lotus mouth. So we hear and we cultivate prema like this. So whatever we do, we have to be cognizant, those who are disciples of Sadguru, we have to be cognizant that Sri Guru has given us approach to prema, the smell of prema, the path to prema, feelings of prema. All that comes from prema because he's premi, he or she. Premi. That's why we're tasting that. Little by little, learning to taste. But since our tongue is afflicted with the jaundice disease, everything seems bitter. So we have to still be taking the lozenges of the holy names every day with no fail. Mangalarati, Gaurarati, all those things. Reading Shastra, praying to Gurudev, bringing flowers to Thakuraji, so many things. So then prema will become closer and closer. So this is like sharpening your transcendental pencil. Finally you'll be able to write Vasika verses at the end when you become premi. So Sadhana bhakti hoiti maya ratira udaya ratika dagaiti natara prema namakaya. Prema vriddhi kramenam snehaman pranay raga anuraga bhava mahabhava. By regularly rendering devotional service, one gradually becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that attachment, mamata, intensifies. It becomes love of Godhead. So love of Godhead manifests as prema, and prema undergoes the levels. Sneha, man, pranaya, raga, anurag, bhava, mahabhav. And then mahabhav comes to Srimati Radhika's lotus feet, who is the possessor of Madanakya Mahabhav, the highest manifestation of Mahabhav. Even Krishna is greedy to achieve that. So, what to speak? Even Krishna is so greedy, and we have to also develop that greed. So, already 7:30, so probably today we'll have to finish. Thanks very much. It was very, very interesting class. I mean, I had to adjust and maintain, etc. But I hope you were not too bored. I hope that it was useful. So, very deep, yes. Shiva Bhaktivinoda said. So I'm feeling very insignificant, how to say, postman, who came, although not in the best condition, but brought very interesting, very wholesome Harikatha of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Shri Dasa-mula-tattva ki jai, Hare Krishna. And tomorrow is the festival of chipped rice, Chidadahi Mahotsava of Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, and the glories of Lord Nityananda. We will discuss that, and I hope some new friends will come, so we'll also share that discussion. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So, short last kirtan. You want to sing? You can take this. Bring mic to me.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama,